Hello everyone, it's Effie here. I got so many calls and texts and inquiries about that video that I have just posted previous to this one, where Pace negotiated a very creative solution for an opportunity for me that I felt I had to post this follow-up. So this is the follow-up to answer what happened to the cute little house, as we called it, and the dog with fleas, which is what the owner called it, and Pace called it that afterwards. So it's a follow-up to the Real Estate Structuring for Pros live call. Now, first I want to say that Pace is such an incredible person. He has such creativity and knowledge that he can resolve a lot of issues that many other people can't think of when it comes to resolving and getting opportunities for both the seller and the buyer. He asked a lot of questions of myself. One of the things he asked is if I'm going to be living in the property, and the answer was yes. However, I didn't provide him with the full information that I'm also going to be using it as an investment property when I leave Chicagoland, and therefore I'm going to be using it as an Airbnb after that. So this is a dual purpose property for me. Pace went on, and you can see him here in this still, where he's talking with the seller to try to find a way to resolve this and make it an opportunity for both of us. The difficulty was that the owner kept saying it was very unusual and very unique. And I didn't know what that meant until I actually went to see the property. And that caused issues both for the property for myself as a homestead and also for Airbnb. And I'm going to explain these issues, like why was this house so unique? What was so unique about it? What was so different about it? And I will explain it as we go through this little video. So the house on the left is a picture of the outside, and as you can see, it is a cute little house. There are no objections to it. It looks very nice. But if you take a look at the picture on the left with the writing on it, it has some unique situations. It runs on well water, and the well is actually inside the home. So it's inside this space between that they have sort of built around it so that you don't really see it. But when you open it up, inside that first space is the well. And then there's also a water softener system inside the adjoining corner. And I found this to be unusual. I'd never seen it before, but it meant that I'd have to check out the well and make sure that the water is fine, that there are no odors or anything like that. And it kind of made me a little bit nervous. And the other thing that it had that I thought was many things that were unique or odd is that the sump pump was in the living room area of the house. This is actually the lower it's living room within the basement. It was a big family room. And to me, I just thought, wait a minute. If anything backs up from that sump pump, you're ruining floor and it's furniture and everything and it's living space. So that part quite bothered me. But the other thing that was really unusual is that this house was not quite all on one level. It had multiple levels, meaning you'd go along and then you'd have to go up one little step and you'd be in a different area, and you'd go up two little steps and you'd be in another area. And it was kind of like you had to watch exactly where you were, because instead of it being all on one level, it had multiple little levels. And the stairs were narrow that were going to the downstairs, this living area, and there was a bedroom and a bathroom down here too. And the stairs were narrow going to the top floor, which had the 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So it was odd. It made you feel like you had to watch what you were doing. So that was the unique part of the house that I thought, I don't know about this. It took away a lot from the pictures, because the pictures don't show you how things transition from one area to another. So when I came back to Chicagoland, I contacted this young man who's in Sub 2, and Tom has a lot of experience with Airbnb. And I asked him to please help me to comp this to see how will it work for an Airbnb. And what he helped me to realize is that it won't. The numbers wouldn't work for an Airbnb. And also Airbnb hosts expect the place to be the way they see it in the pictures, as did I when I saw the pictures, because this place had really nice washrooms and it had some nice space, but there was no real living room. There was just a small dining room, a nice kitchen, but small. It was weird, because when you saw it in pictures, you didn't realize that it doesn't flow, and that you have to go up into different levels, and it was disjointed. I would say disjointed. So when I walked Tom through this, he was like, okay, you're going to get a lot of complaints from people who are going to say the pictures don't represent the house. You're going to get poor reviews, and the numbers aren't working anyhow. So since they're not working, and you have a 2-year balloon, which both Pace and I, and the seller acknowledge that that's not the best, but it is what it is. So between all of them, I realized that this is not a deal for me. So there were a couple of takeaways that I thought I would share, that why I did not actually put an offer in on this. And the takeaways were to call on the experts. Whoever you have in your network, call on them to help you to figure everything out. Because Pace helped make this opportunity work as far as the numbers are concerned, although he was concerned about the 2-year balloon. Aside from that, everything looked like it would be okay. And had I not spoken to Tom, I might not have realized how important it is that the pictures represent everything. And you couldn't represent the flow in this house. And you certainly wouldn't show that the well is inside, if there's a sump pump in the living space. You just wouldn't, and they would object. And the other thing is to go see the property, because if I were doing this virtually, I may have purchased it based on the pictures, and the pictures were really nice, but I wouldn't have seen how disjointed it is, and I wouldn't have realized that the well is actually, and the sump pump is actually in the building, inside the living space, and how small. There was no real living room. There was just like a family room above the garage. So, and the neighborhood. The neighborhood also is something that you needed to know. So it didn't really work as far as my exit strategy would have been as an Airbnb, but it didn't work for that, and I didn't love it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I see now why they kept saying it's odd. So I didn't really want it as a homestead, and it didn't work as an Airbnb. So those were important takeaways. So the other thing I have to say is that one person's dog with fleas can be another person's cute little house. It just so happened that this one was not for me. So I am still looking for the right place in Chicagoland, and I'm putting it out there that I'm willing to pay handsomely for a creative deal If you're a wholesaler and you'd like to get a good wholesaler fee that you'd be happy with, please reach out for my buy box if you can help. There's the email. It's effie@rei.com. Please use the subject line "to be continued" because I expect that I will find a place and we can move forward. The numbers have to work. It has to be a creative deal, and it can't be a dog with fleas. Thanks, everyone. Take care.